So much has been messed up and dysregulated within us around sleep. And for many of us, sleep is one of our biggest teachers. For me, other people's frequencies really can affect my sleep. Recognizing that sometimes when we take on other people's frequencies throughout the day, we are then processing for them what they can't process for themselves. And it actually can really dysregulate our sleep. And that's what part of what wants to come through is you really are an emotional powerhouse of feeling. It's one of your gifts, but it also means that your whole life you've been taking on feelings from others and they've been processing through you. And others have been sort of using you as energy vampires, like taking your energy and leaving you with theirs, sort of like this switcheroo. And that's what I see. I see you processing for so many others. And this is actually an incredibly common thing in people that are deep feelers, that they're processing others' energy, the others that aren't able to feel it. A big portion of the population are walking around with this experience and not recognizing it. It's the experience of being empathic, where we feel things that other people can't feel. And so their energies, as we feel them, we're taking them on. And so a simple process every night before bed of clearing out everybody else's energies is going to be really assistive. And so it's kind of like taking a shower. Like we all recognize I have to occasionally take a shower or a bath or something, scrub off the dirt, right? And that's because when we're out in the world, like, yeah, there's dirt, there's germs, there's also unseen germs. Like we're all aware of that. Nobody's confused that things get pretty stinky and gross if we don't take regular baths, right? Like there's no humans that are confused about this. Well, at least not too many. But there's very little knowledge that the same thing is happening energetically. As we go out into the world, there's all kinds of energies that are just attaching. It is literally identical to dirt. And if we don't have a regular process of cleaning that out and calling our energy back to us, now there's also the perspective as we go up higher and higher and higher. In perspective, as we get to the oneness perspective, we see there's nothing that isn't ours. So that's true as well. So there's the perspective from the soul perspective that it's not yours, but then we see that everything's always happening for us, that our soul chose this path for a reason. And so there's also the perspective of like, this is happening to assist me. And this is exactly what we've been talking about on this call. These things that it feels like I have to make this stop is actually happening to help us go into full soul alignment with our gifts and become the powerhouse that we're actually meant to be. So a simple practice can be as simple as just at the end of the day, swiping your hands sort of like a broom, front and back, and just say, sending everybody's energy back to them. Okay? Clearing everyone out of my body. Any invitations I've given to anyone to my energy field, I rescind those invitations. I'm moving everyone else's energy, and you're moving it out front and back. And you're imagining all those energies going back to them. And then I call back all of my energy to me. And then imagining any sort of pathways, cords between you and any others that are still open are just dissolving out. All those pathways are closing, and it's just you. My energy field is mine and mine alone. And then the next day when you wake up, placing a bubble of protection around you and claiming as you go throughout your day that other people's stuff isn't allowed to come to you. But this takes time and it takes practice, and it's important that we're still clearing ourselves every night. And starting to ask yourself, when you're noticing, I can't sleep, what am I thinking about? What are the worries that are coming up for me? What are the things that it feels like I need to do, or I need to fix, I need to solve? Where is your mind going? Having awareness over what's going on instead of sleep. And here's the thing about sleep. Whether we can't fall asleep or we wake up after we've been asleep and can't go back to sleep, it means something's trying to come through you, knocking on the door of your awareness. Knock, 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 knock. And you're like, go away, I need to go to sleep. This happened for me for my whole life until I was guided from within, hey, this is what's going on. I was like, oh, I gotta know. Oh, okay. And so I'm pretty good about this now, about recognizing, like, if I'm not able to sleep, okay, something wants to come through me. Okay, got it. I get up and write it down. This happened to me not too long ago where I was really tired. I had woken up in the middle of the night and I knew that something must want to come through me. But I was like, I'm just too tired. I really can't. So 3 hours later, I'm like, fine, okay. All right, I'll get a piece of paper and a pen, fine. And so I let it out. And the truth is, I had actually been circling around it for those 3 hours. And I kept just trying to be like, go away, go away, go away. But you have to understand when I'm speaking this, like, I have really, really, really high awareness because I've practiced it for 15 years over what's going on within me. Okay, so you might have to really bring your attention to what's going on within me right now. What am I worried about? What am I thinking about? What do I need to stop so I can relax? Whatever that is, you need to write it down, because that's going to move it out of your system. Okay, now you've addressed it. Now you've written it down. As soon as I wrote it down, I was asleep 10 seconds later. But holding it just in our head, even if we have some awareness over it, that's not fully processing it. To move it out, we have to write it down, rip it up, throw it out, say, I release. And so another level of this understanding is like, the times we can't sleep, that's when something's trying to come through us. That's psychic time. And why? Why is that psychic time? Because God's source within, our soul, beings of the highest vibration who are guiding us, they recognize that during the day, we are totally unavailable for psychic time. Okay? They recognize we're busy, we're not listening, we're not paying attention at all, and they're not going to bother us. But at night, they've got our attention. Okay? And so that's why. That's why. So here's another thing. I don't have this too much because, first of all, I know I've got to write it down. But also during the day, I'm holding psychic space time with my guidance, with the beings of the highest vibrations. They don't need to bother me at night as much anymore. It doesn't mean that they don't sometimes, but there's a lot less. And so I used to have a lot of trouble falling asleep. That is so rare for me now. So rare, because I let it come through me fully during the day. I write it down during the day. I try to write every single day. I try to write down whatever wants to come through me, whatever it is, even if it's like, I'm so angry about this. All right, you better believe I'm writing that down. Because if I don't, it doesn't fully move out of my system. I can think about it for 3 hours, but I haven't fully moved it out. So to really process and release, I've got to write it down. I'm so angry about this. And then I write down, I release. I rip up my paper. And then I'm like, okay, if I'm angry, I better go scream into my pillow. All right, I'm screaming into my pillow as loud as I possibly can. So when somebody says to me, I can't sleep, I know that they are powerful and that things are trying to come through for them and move through them. And they just don't fully realize that yet. And I think that's what's happening.